Johan, I'd like to go back to you now, please. We know that the police, South African police, do need support, and they certainly need resources. In your opinion, what is lacking in the South African police service? How can government better equip and help our current police services? What's needed?
Well, again, I'm struggling to hear, but I think the question to me is how can we improve the police? What can be done? Now, I do agree that training and equipment is always essential. But I think we also need to start implementing some of the very prominent recommendations in the National Development Plan, which has to do with addressing some of these systemic problems that I referred to. For example, what it suggests is that we need to have a proper audit of officers in the police service to determine that they are suitable, each one of them, for the positions that they are currently employed to. So that, if an officer doesn't fit the profile of what is required in a specific position, then either move that officer to another position for which he or she is better suited, or then equip that person with the necessary skills in terms of training. But the idea is that you have a very, very close look at our commanders in the police service, that they are suitable and suitably qualified for their positions. Also, that they understand their role in terms of holding their own members accountable, and also to make certain that they are, in turn, suitably qualified, trained, equipped, and held accountable. So that is an essential recommendation in the National Development Plan, and it's now included in the draft white paper on police. So hopefully we'll see this being implemented at some stage. Something that I notice I've already improved is the tone and language of some of our political and police leaders. For example, the shoot to kill kind of terminology. We know that in the past, on occasion, police officers were said that they should kill the bastards, shoot the bastards, don't worry about the consequences. Those kind of irresponsible statements by persons in leadership position is completely unacceptable, and it sends out all the wrong messages to our police members. So those are the areas, I think, where we need to start improving the police. So on the one hand, we need to take a closer look at our training of the police. To what extent is recognition given to basic human rights in terms of the application of policing? And also, to what extent are police officers equipped, for example, to deal with situations where there's high tension, where there's even possibility of violence and aggression, that they understand that because they are professional, they should have a much higher level of tolerance than the ordinary person is expected to maintain. So these are things that needs to be addressed in training, as well as supervision by senior members, responsibility in terms of the language and tone we use amongst our political and police leaders, and then of course the kind of equipment that we issue our police members with. You can't expect the police officer to be equipped with an R4 or R5 rifle and then expect him or her to use minimum force. If you want a police officer to use minimum force, such as in crowd control situation, then those kinds of firearms should not be deployed. And this is why we have public order police units. They are trained and equipped without that kind of weapons to deal with a situation. We saw, for example, at Marikana, where tactical units who are equipped with firearms such as rifles and so on were deployed together with public order police units. And that is inviting the kind of violence that eventually erupted there. So much better management and understanding of all of these processes could go a long way towards professionalizing our police.
Noxolo, won't you take us through some social media reactions?
Of course, we have our last 3 tweets from our viewers who say, just watch the police brutality video. I hope those officers lose their jobs, pension and all benefits and are sentenced to life. As we can see, this is a very angry Twitter user. And then we've got South Africa said to have the best constitution globally. Judging from police brutality, poor and no service delivery, this is purely an academic thing. And lastly, we have another tweet that says, SAPS again. First, it was Tatane. Second, Marikana. Now, Davidton taxi driver. Now we are living in that apartheid police brutality again. And the user asks why.
We want to know your opinion on this conversation. Won't you let us know by commenting below this video? And don't forget that you can tweet us at News24. And remember, you can follow us on YouTube and on Instagram.